Ang ini-expect namin, talagang may mahuhuli kaming mga baril.
Okay.
But not this ganito karami. Ang ini-expect namin talaga, we could recover drugs inside the unit. But unfortunately, ito nga ang bumulaga sa amin at na-surprise kami sa dami ng high-powered firearms na confiscate namin doon.
Yung pinaka-big boss ay involved sa kidnapping. Tumakas siya sa Taiwan noong 2006. No? Tapos yung nga, nakita siya rito. Hindi ko alam kung ano mga pinuntahan nito, but bandang huli nakita siya rito.
From the nation's capital, all sides, all the time, I'm Robbie Alampay.
And I'm Gretchen Ho, the big story tonight.
We begin tonight's broadcast with the seizure of millions of pesos worth of loose firearms at a condominium unit in Makati City.
These supposedly belong to a notorious Taiwanese syndicate who has been on the run since 2006. Brian Castro with the big story.
Through a search warrant, PNP CIDG operatives raided a high-end condominium in Rockwell Center, Makati City Monday evening. Authorities seized more than 80 firearms, most of which are high-caliber guns and ammunition. The CIDG initially intended to do a search warrant against a Taiwanese national identified as Zhang Zhang Shadong, also known as Liu Mingchung. He is suspected to be a ringleader of a criminal group based in Taiwan. The suspect was not in the scene during the operation, but authorities were surprised with the number of illegal firearms believed to be worth millions of pesos.
Based on PNP records, he is not a registered owner of any firearms here in the Philippines. And besides, undocumented itong suspect natin, so mas marami pang ikakaso sa kanya. Ang ini-expect namin, talagang may mahuhuli kaming mga baril, but not this ganito karami.
Interior Secretary Benner Abalos presented on Tuesday afternoon the confiscated illegal firearms. Authorities are investigating the possible motives as to why the Taiwanese national has such a large number of high-caliber guns.
Well, maraming anggulo. It could be gun smuggling, it could be used for criminal activities.
Based doon sa mga nakonfiska naming baril, they could not accumulate this in a short period of time. So I presume they are here more than a year, less than a year. That's what I presume because hindi nila ma-accumulate lahat ito. Itong mga baril na ito ay nabili sa mga different mga tao dito sa Pilipinas, and we don't know if they will smuggle into Taiwan itong mga baril na ito. But yun po yung inimbestigan namin kung anong gagamitin ito, whether they will use for their syndicate or they will engage in a black market selling of these firearms back into their country.
Abalos said the operation is an offshoot of an earlier police operation on March 1 for the implementation of warrants of deportation and mission order against 3 Taiwanese nationals in Makati City.
Yung pagpunta nila dito, no? Parang walang trace eh. Walang trace, di mo malaman. Yung pinaka-big boss ay involved sa kidnapping. Tumakas siya sa Taiwan noong 2006. No? Tapos yung nga, nakita siya rito.
Based on the warrant of arrest, they were involved in narcotics offense back there in Taiwan and telecom fraud. Ang tagal na rin minomonitor ng PDEA na they are involved in a big-time drug syndicate.
The manhunt operation continues as police express their strong belief that the said Taiwanese national remains to be in the country.
We're sure of that dahil yung kundo na inupahan niya ay nagbayad na siya ng 3 months. So nagtatago pa lang. Pero we are very sure na nandito pa siya sa Pilipinas.
For News 5, Brian Castillo. We are One News.
Here to talk to us about this case, CIDG Public Information Officer Colonel Marisa Bruno. She joins us over the phone. Good evening, Colonel.
Mr. Roby and Ma'am Gretchen and sa lahat po ng mga sumusubaybay ng ating usap. Magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po. Ma'am, doon sa report, we talked a lot about the guns and the questions and some of the leads that we already have. But tell us a bit more about the alleged ringleader dito po sa sindikatong to.
Yes po. According po dito sa ating continuous po na investigation po, napag-alaman po natin na itong Jiang hello po?
Apa, sige pa.
Yes po, apo. dito nga po ay napag-alaman natin na itong si Jiang Xiaodong ay isang ay kasama po o miyembro po ng napauna po nating 3 na aresto nitong March 1. So sila po ay sinasabing parte o miyembro ng isang grupo, notorious group dito sa Taiwan.
Ma'am, paano po tayo nakakasiguro na nandito pa sa bansa to? We heard the PNP expressing confidence na hindi pa nakakaalis ng bansa. But what gives us the reason other than the payment of rent na nandito pa nga ang taong yan?
We have a continuous coordination po, no? Kasama naman po natin ang Bureau of Immigration at iba pang mga sangay po ng ating mga ahensya dito sa law enforcement counterparts po natin. Gayon din po ang ating foreign counterparts po sa TECO na isa din po na tumulong sa atin at dito nga sa pagsaganap nitong mga operasyon natin. Bagamat po na isa nga po yon sa nabanggit na yung payment doon sa kanyang inuupahan, meron pa rin pong mga leads ang ating mga investigador, ang ating CITG, na sila po ay nahandito pa sa Pilipinas.
Ma'am, can you tell us more about the information that led you to do this operation? Tungkol po ba yan sa droga? At nagulat po ba kayo na tumambad po yung napakaraming weapons? Is gun smuggling part of the modus operandi of this syndicate?
Yes, Ma'am Gretchen. Actually po, ito ating naging implementation of search warrant kahapon ay nagmula po dun sa, ito po ay follow-up operation natin na noong nagkaroon tayo ng unang operation, ito po yung ating service of warrant of deportation and yung ating mission order po na binigay po o galing po mula sa Bureau of Immigration dito po sa 3 pa nga pong sinasabi natin na kasama rin po ni Xiaodong. So ito pong nakaraang March 1, tayo nga po ay nagsilbi nitong warrant of deportation at dahil po doon tayo po ay nakakuha rin, nakakumpiska po tayo ng ilang mga armas. At nagtuloy-tuloy nga po ang ating ginawang surveillance at hanggang sa tayo ay humantong para dito sa pag-apply ng ating search warrant para dito sa subject natin si Xiaodong po.
Ma'am, sino po ang bumibili ng mga armas? Meron po ba tayong impormasyon tungkol doon at saan po ito ginagamit?
Sa ating pong tinitignan po dahil sila po ay mga banyaga po dito sa ating bansa nga, hindi sila, kumbaga hindi po sila wala po silang karapatan na kumbaga po ay bumili. Kaya tinitingnan din ho natin ang posibleng involvement ng mga local contacts po na maaring tumutulong sa kanila.
Ma'am,
sa pag-acquire ng ganitong mga baril po.
Ma'am, pagka sinabi po nating local contacts, we presume these are not just private agents or private conduits. Does this involve investigating as well loopholes in our government agencies? Paano nakapasok itong mga smuggled na guns?
Yes po, tama po kayo. Ito pong mga baril na ito po, lahat naman po ay titignan natin, lahat ng anggulo, pati po na investigation. Ito pong mga baril na ito, kung inyo pong nakita maari sa mga litrato, ito po ay sinasabi nga po natin na hindi ito yung dito sa atin ay paltek po. Ito po ay talagang mga baril na kumbaga ay bago at binibili po. Ito po ay galing sa ibang bansa na kung saan dito po ay nabibili din po sa atin primarily sa mga tindahan po ng mga baril. Yan po ay, ganyan po ang mga klase ng baril na tumambad sa atin. At nais ko lang pong balikan yung tanong po kanina ni Ma'am Gretchen na ito po ba maliban dito sa baril ay may kaugnayan nga po sa illegal drugs? Actually po, dahil po ang kasama po natin na nagsagawa po ng Operation IPDEA, yun po ang inaasahan natin. though meron po tayong tinitignan na tayo makakakuha ng baril, pero more than that is yung tinitignan natin na ito ay patungkol sa droga. Ngayon nga ay ang dinatnan po natin ay wala nga po tayong nakuha na mga illegal drugs. However, ito pong ganitong karaming baril ang tumambad po sa atin.
Ma'am, sabi niyo po, nag-serve po kayo ng deportation order. Gaano katagal na po ba sila sa Pilipinas? Gaano katagal niyo na po sila binabantayan?
Initially po, ang pagkakaalam po natin ay dahil nga po dito, no, kung titingnan natin itong pagkakaroon ng ganitong karaming baril, hindi natin masasabi na sa sandali pa lang sila dito sa atin sa Pilipinas dahil hindi ganun kadali na makaipon sila ng ganyang karami sa maikling panahon. Kaya maaring may isang taon o less than a year na rin silang nandito at tayo naman po dun sa ating pagmamatsyag sa kanila ay halos ilang buwan na rin po natin silang minatyagan at pinag-aralan po bago natin gawin itong ating operasyon.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Colonel Marisa Bruno, CIDG PIO. Meanwhile, Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Teves remains out of the Philippines as the 24-hour ultimatum given to him to return to the country expires. Marian Enriquez with this report.
All those in favor, please.
Negros Oriental Congressman Arnie Teves was a no-show at the lower house, paving the way for possible sanctions handed by the Ethics Committee. The panel gave him a 24-hour ultimatum to report to work, which expired Tuesday afternoon. With this, the committee will move forward with the appropriate disciplinary actions.
The continuing failure of Representative Arnie Teves to heed the committee order to appear before the panel leaves us no choice but to wrap up the investigation in his case without his valid explanation. Bukas pa natin malalaman once our report and recommendations is accepted and will be discussed and to be acted by the members of the House during our plenary tomorrow.
But the camp of Congressman Teves claims there is unfair treatment against the lawmaker. Teves sought a 2-month extension of his travel clearance, citing threats to his life, preventing him from returning to the Philippines. Teves has been implicated in the murder of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Digamo and is facing murder complaints over killings perpetrated back in 2019.
Lamang ay hindi po talaga namin mawari kung bakit gano'n na lamang ang trato sa kanya ng kanyang mga kasamahan na kailangan personal appearance. Nag-offer po kami na ipaliwanag nga, lumiham kami, pero bakit ayaw nilang pakinggan ang panig? Sana, bago sila mag-impose ng sanctions today, ay mapakinggan naman nila. Kaya ang ginawa po ni Congressman Teves, magre-release na lang po siya ng video.
Teves' camp fears that there may be efforts to frame him in the Digamo murder. His camp also said that it's possible that evidence implicating the lawmaker had already been planted during one of the police raids on Teves' properties earlier this month. Teves' camp also denies speculation that the congressman is on the run.
Alam po ni Speaker Romualdez kung nasaan siya. Tingin ko alam din po ng ating mga may kapangyarihan. Talaga pong uuwi naman po siya. Kanya nga po humiling ng 2 buwan na extension ng kanyang leave sapagkat ina-assess pa po niya. Tinitimbang niya, minamanmanan niya mga pangyayari kung yung impormasyon ay mananatiling may banta sa kanyang buhay.
The Justice Department earlier said that an international lookout bulletin against the suspects in the Digamo murder may be issued soon. This includes a blue notice sent to the Interpol, which will allow Philippine authorities access to information on the whereabouts of these persons of interest. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
It was an announcement that caught the barangay off guard. The Gin Kings Point guard LA Tenorio has announced that he has been diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. The 38-year-old guard revealed the diagnosis in a statement posted on the PBA's official website. There, Tenorio said the initial testing 3 weeks ago led to him missing practices and games. He also said that he had undergone surgery last week and will soon get more treatment for the next few months. The PBA's Ironman also apologized to his teammates, coaches, fans, and the PBA. Now, despite the cancer diagnosis, Tenorio stressed that he is not yet retiring from the game that he loves. The Nebra captain played in 744 consecutive games, the longest streak in PBA history, before sitting out against the Meralco Bolts last March 1.
And after the break, Senator Marisa Ontiveros claims that Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban favored 3 sugar traders, allowing them to earn billions in profits. Sugar Regulatory Administration's Pablo Aquana will join us for discussion when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're watching The Big Story here on One News. Opposition Senator Marisa Ontiveros exposes an alleged scheme of a senior agriculture official that favors 3 sugar traders so they can earn billions in what the lawmaker calls super profits. Here is what we know. Ontiveros claims that Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban supposedly allowed the importation of 440,000 metric tons of sugar through only 3 traders, namely All Asian, Sukden, and Edison Lee Marketing. She says the wholesale price of sugar from Thailand is only at 25 pesos a kilo. But instead of allowing industrial users to buy directly from Thailand, Panganiban, the senator says, directs them to the 3 favored sugar traders that are selling sugar for a whopping 85 pesos per kilo. Breaking down the 85 peso per kilo price tag, Ontiveros says 32 pesos in profits are added by the favored sugar traders to the original wholesale price of sugar from Thailand and the cost of warehousing, duties, and handling of the supply. The lawmaker notes that normal profit is usually at 8 pesos a kilo, which means the favored traders, including All Asian, added some 24 pesos in additional profits. At 24 pesos a kilo, total profits of the allegedly favored sugar traders would reach 10.5 billion pesos. Now, adding in the 8 peso regular rate of profits, this would reach 14 billion pesos. Ontiveros even included in her presentation a photo of Panganiban together with the traders that he supposedly favors. In light of this revelation, Ontiveros is again asking the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee to launch an investigation. She also calls on the Malacanang to preventively suspend Panganiban.
To weigh in on this, we have with us on the show board member of the Sugar Regulatory Administration, Pablo Luis Ascona. He is joining us live via Zoom. Welcome to The Big Story, Mr. Ascona.
Yes, welcome. Good evening.
Sir, does the SRA board have any position on what Senator Ontiveros has said?
Yeah, we've done our computations as well. At the moment, if you check online, the wholesale price of sugar is posted at London number 5 at $580 plus $30 premium if you buy it from Thailand. So that's about $600, 600 something. So the actual X price Thailand is nasa 33 to 35 pesos. So yun yung one. No? And then you run the computations, you include a 5 peso per kilo profit. So we computed it at something like 61 pesos, more or less. But that's just offhand quick computation before this interview.
Sir, it's not very clear. Medyo there's something wrong with our signal. But if are we getting you right that you're saying that the numbers, if you factor in what you're saying are the real numbers, it is not as big a gap to fill in as Senator Ontiveros is saying. But also getting to the other side of this question, notwithstanding whatever the numbers are, the other allegation here is that these were favored dealers.
Yeah, okay. The sugar board is actually not privy to why the decision was made. What happened there was we were only aware of such situation when the good USEC went on his press con. So that's where actually we learned about it. But what I know, based on our conversations, is that the reason for this was, as he said in his press con, that there was a need to curb the inflation. So supply was needed immediately. And at the same time, the traders chosen are the biggest supporters of the local farmers. These are the traders who buy a big chunk of the local production. So what happens there is, based on my personal opinion, if you allow the traders who buy a big chunk of the local production, which is high priced, if you allow them to import, that is the only way you can average out to a lower retail price. Now, that's, I think, one of the reasons that the decision was made.
Sir, do you confirm that you only allow importation through the three traders, namely All Asian, Sukden, and Edison Lee Marketing?
I think that was confirmed by Yusek Panganiban in his last press con.
Okay, I guess the question of people is, if we have been importing sugar already, then why haven't we brought prices down? I've seen posts online, people asking, why is sugar still at 100 pesos a kilo?
Okay. From what I know, when the good Senator Marisa went out on the news now with this expose, I think a month ago, the farmers, being the farmers' representative, our price at the farm gate dropped from about 72 pesos per kilo for raw brown sugar. We went down to 60 pesos, and we have remained at 60 pesos for the last 4 weeks. So if we drop a good 10 to 12 pesos, we should expect the retail price to drop the same way. This is just talking about local sugar. Yung sa imported naman po, ma'am, we have just released po the reclassification of the imported. It was something like 16,000 tons from reserve, which is sea sugar, to be domestic. So this was just signed, I think, yesterday. So we should see the effect soon if the retail prices will suffice to what we are doing.
Okay, in the meantime, sir, balikan ko lang po ulit, just bottom line dito based on the allegations of Senator Ontiveros against Yusek Bautista. You said that the board was not aware of the process for the selection of the three traders. Bottom line, is there reason for the board to look into this now that you are aware of this matter?
Yes, po, sir. when we were made aware, when the sugar arrived, and we knew about it, we consulted to our farmers and our stakeholders, SRA board. So yung first na ginawa po namin is to ensure that yung ginawang importation po ng good USEC Panganiban and yung sugar order po namin is maging isang program lang po. Because if we do not do that, mag-i-import po si USEC ng 440,000, mag-i-import din po yung SRA ng 440,000. Siguradong kawawa yung farmers. So as a first step, that's what we did. No? We integrated the importation of USEC into the sugar order. What this ensures is that the SRA board will now be in control of all the imported sugar. So tayo na po yung magsa-schedule kailan siya i-reclassify, kailan siya i-introduce to the market in the hope of lowering the retail price without naman po causing a collapse to the local producers naman po.
Sige, we'll have to end it there. In the meantime, maraming salamat po, SRA Board Member Pablo Aquana.
Right after the break, the sunken oil tanker MT Princess Empress that caused a massive oil spill has now been found off Oriental Mindoro. We'll get the latest on that when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching the big story here on One News.
The oil tanker that sank off Oriental Mindoro and caused a massive oil spill that affected the coastal areas of at least 4 provinces has been found. In a post on his social media page, Oriental Mindoro Governor Humerlito Dolor showed footage taken by Japan's remotely operated underwater vehicle of the MT Princess Empress some 400 meters deep from where it sank off Balingawan Point in Nawan Town. MT Princess Empress was transporting 800,000 liters of industrial oil when it encountered engine trouble and sank in rough seas on February 28. Authorities are scrambling to contain the oil spill that has affected more than 143,000 people and severely disrupted their livelihoods. The PCG also reported that over 58,000 kilograms and 22 drums of oil-contaminated debris have been collected since March 1. The Justice Department, meanwhile, says it is clear that a crime was committed in the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. The DOJ said that claimants can ask for up to 128 million pesos in damages to cover the civil liabilities of the owner of the sunken MT Princess Empress.
And that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more analysis. I'm Robbie Alampay.
The big story is also available via Signal Play app. Make a free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. I'm Gretchen Ho. Stay safe, Philippines.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.